Hey everybody, my name is Breanna Sorensen, and I am here today with Navy women's basketball brand new head coach Tim Taylor, who is in his house right now in Virginia. But coach, we're so excited to have you on. What was your initial reaction when you found out you got the head coaching job at Navy?
I was excited, and I think a little bit of the moment's a little overwhelming at the time, because then all of a sudden now you're thinking about staff, you're thinking about what you got to do for the kids, you're thinking about homes, and so I think it was really the first 2 days. I think I got about 3 or 4 hours of sleep between all the texts and everything, and I think it really hit me when yesterday I came up to Annapolis and walked in Alumni Hall, and they had it on the Jumbotron. And I think it was a flood of emotions. The sacrifices that your family's made and all the coaches that you've been a part of, your family and friends. So, and then after being on campus, the excitement got even more so. So pretty excited about it.
What was your family's and friends' initial reaction when you found out you got the job and that you're moving to Annapolis?
You know what? Everybody was super excited. I literally have 700 texts and calls from people all over the country. And it was my kids. Actually, when I talked to my kids, that was one of the big things. Were they excited about Annapolis? And they were before we took the job. We had that. And then once we got it, my daughter went crazy on the phone because she's actually in Florida right now. So it's all been positive. It's been such a great, you feel humbled by all of the congratulations and the friends that you've had. So it was pretty exciting.
And you, after coaching at Furman, Virginia, North Carolina, what made you interested when you saw that Navy job posting?
Well, I mean, I think if you look at that's had, different experiences in it, but the one common theme has always been around, kids. And what I mean by that is I have to be in an institution that provides value beyond basketball. I know Virginia, North Carolina, you win in national championships, you're playing in Power 5 conferences, but when the basketball's over, what are you selling? It's what can we do to help kids in their life? How are we going to be able to help them reach their goals beyond the basketball? And I think Navy is an institution that definitely does that. And the military academy is something I've always admired, people that are willing to put their life on the line for our safety. So our young ladies there, I definitely admire. So I think the values of that institution resonate with my own values.
And you've been a part of so many successful teams. What has been a common theme throughout that makes a winning team?
Well, I think there's it's a really good question. I think one of the things I've always said as a coach, you can't be afraid to lose. And I think when you do that, you make decisions based on what's in the best interest of the program. You don't make decisions based on winning. And I think what that does, it lays a foundation for the program to be solid. There's no cracks in the bottom. It's going to withstand it. So I think when you do that, and there, all the cliches, there's a commitment to hard work. There's a trust. There's, you got to have talent, all of that stuff. I think it all combines, but I think one of the things that you got to have a servant leadership from the top and throughout your program. And in a lot of cases, building trust and relationships and getting great players help winning programs.
And you've worked alongside some of the most successful coaches in the game. So tell me, what have been some of the things you've taken away from working with some of the best coaches?
I think it's one of the biggest things, I think, is preparation. I think you have to be prepared. You have to do all the little things. It's not the big things that wins championships. It's the little things. And I think each one of those actually thought about the little things more than they thought about the big things. It's one of the things. I know this may sound crazy, but how do you introduce yourself to people? How are you carrying yourself? Are you willing to pick up trash? Are you willing, those little things make the biggest difference. And for me as a leader, I want our kids to see that I'm willing to do whatever. It's not just he's the head coach. I'm going to pick up the trash when it's on the floor and things like that. I know that seems very minute, but I do also think that gives a level of commitment to doing things the right way. And I think that's what separated the really great coaches and an ability to adapt within the games. The really, really good coaches and I'm a basketball buff. I watch coaches more than I even watch the game. I think the ability to see the game and be able to adapt to what your team needs at that particular moment allows you to be truly successful in the moment as well.
And what drew you originally to the game of basketball and then to the game of women's basketball in specific?
Yeah, I think I've always loved basketball. It was something that even when I was a little kid, I just loved the game, and that was my favorite sport. I played all three growing up. You know, we came from a small community, so you were just expected to play all three. It was not a time of specialization. So when I came back, I was actually you know, in some ways I'll say it's God's plan, because ultimately I thought I was going to be a football coach when I was called. And my AD said, "Hey, I need a JV girls basketball coach." I'm like, "What?" And so it actually, when I got there and started working with it, I was coaching JV girls, varsity boys, you know, and it resonated, and I got my first job. So I've actually been able to coach boys and girls in a lot of different ways. And it was just a career path that chose me in some ways. I chose basketball. The girls chose me, you know, so.
And after I saw on your resume, after a while, you coached at Virginia, but then you made that turn over to principal. So why did you make that decision at the time?
Well, I think if you look at my resume, there's been a few gaps where I was not at the collegiate game. And a lot of that was the health issues of, my wife had cancer in 2005 and we had young kids. So, that, pushed me more to the high school ranks. And then when I became a principal, it was, my daughter had some health issues at the time, and which was a driving force in that. And then had an opportunity. I have always enjoyed education as a teacher, and I'd had my administrative degree. So it actually worked out. And I will tell you, I absolutely loved it. Taught me how to manage people. It taught me how to be a leader, how to think outside of the box on leadership from the bottom up. So it was a great experience. I absolutely loved it.
That also shows that the family aspect is huge to you. Do you take that characteristic onto the court as well?
I think that's a question for others around me, but I would say yes, that hopefully my family, friends, players, they become family for life. And that's what it is. I really want my kids, I tell them all the time, I want you to call me in 20 years when you have a big decision to make. I want you to call me when you're having tough decisions. When you need someone to lean on, I want to be here for you beyond the basketball piece to it. Now, they will tell you, I will challenge you on the court. I will push you to your absolute limits, but they're going to know that they're part of our family for the rest of our lives. I have probably, I don't know, a couple thousand children right now.
No,
I'm just glad I don't have to write them off my taxes.
Oh yeah, there you go. Now, speaking of, the teams, have you had a chance to reach out to the Navy women's team at all yet?
Yeah, we did a Google Hangout call the other night, and so I just wanted to give them a little bit of my personality. It was more of an impromptu. I know they have exams. If you hear the crazy noise in the back, it's my cat going crazy. So, but it's yeah, we had an opportunity. So it was great to just be able to get faces with names and for them to see me and see the energy that hopefully we're going to bring to the program and get a good sense. And now I gave them a little bit of homework that they've got to do, and then we're going to meet face-to-face, one-on-one with some FaceTime or Google Hangout calls. That way they get to know me, I get to know them, kind of figure out their goals and what they're looking for, so we can start drawing out a plan for their, for their basketball as well as their life.
What was some of the homework you assigned them?
Well, I wanted to know what their goals were from the basketball. I wanted to know what their goals were on basketball. The other one, I wanted to know what their personal goals were, for the rest of their life. What are you looking for out of this experience? I know that you're commissioned into this, but what are you really looking for down the road beyond that? And then the other one, I wanted to know what is one or two things that a coach does that inspires them? Because I think coaching is, I always said it's about impact. You inspire, you mentor, you prepare, you hold accountable, you care about them, and you teach them. So how can we impact them and inspire them to be the best that they can? So I want to know what they think that is. Now, granted, I said what they think because it may not always align, and then we can work on that as well.
Now, you asked for their goals, but what are a few of your goals for this Navy women's team in the future?
Oh, championships. You got to speak it into existence. I think that I've always believed that your goals have to be at the top. But really what I want to do is build a program that the Naval Academy can be proud of. One that is built on morals and values and character, which a lot, comes with the academy anyway. But it's really one that's of a servant type nature, one that we push them to the best of their ability and know that when they're done, they want to come back. They want to be a part of something bigger than them, not just on the court at that time, but they want to come back and they're going to be proud of the program that we built. And it is definitely about winning championships. It's not, we're coming here to win the Patriot League championship just like everybody else, So if we're going to compete, they keep and score, somebody's got to win. So.
Oh yeah, so we're here to win. Well, thank you so much for talking to us today, Coach Taylor, and we cannot wait to have you here in Annapolis soon.
I am so appreciative of the time and thankful of the opportunity and looking forward to meeting everybody.